Welcome to this review of this 2014 981 Porsche Boxster S. What's going on, guys? My name is Rohit, this is Driver's DNA, and let's get into it. So for a two-seater car, this car actually has a lot of storage space, and that includes two trunks. So down here, there's also a frunk. So this opens just like your standard hood latch with a double latch there. So the trunk is actually pretty big here. You can easily fit a couple of carry-on suitcases, and it's carpeted in there, so it's nice and soft. And this is pretty solid for a car this size. So let's move on to the back now. So the unique thing with this car being mid-engined is we also have a trunk in the rear. This is all remote activated on the key, which is nice. And as you can see, this is pretty good size as well. You also have your fillers for, things like your wiper fluid. And this could easily fit a couple of duffel bags or some groceries. Easy to grab back here, and a great usage of space for sure. And of course, we got to see this thing with the top down, so let's go ahead and do that. So as you guys can see, that was pretty quick, and it definitely is a very pretty car, both top up and down, but this is the way to drive it, let's be honest. All right, so welcome to the interior of this beautiful Porsche. And as you guys can see, this interior is in this really gorgeous dark blue, almost gray blue color. And that is everywhere through the door cards, the steering wheel, seats, everything is finished in this really nice blue. And I think that's a very subtle but nice touch. Shows a little bit higher quality and just something you wouldn't see on an everyday car. And I think that's part of what makes cars like Porsches very special. So looking at the door card here, that nice blue color continues here. But the only thing is there are a lot of harder materials here. It is still, not completely plastic hard touch for sure, but maybe like a tier 2, tier 3 of a harder material. The elbow rest mainly is something I would want to be softer. It's not the best, but overall everything feels high quality and feels like it'll last a while, which is definitely good, especially for a convertible. Now, going to more unique designs here, you can see this door pull is a very nice, interesting shape that I haven't seen in another car. And it's perfect for putting, two fingers in and pulling to be able to access the door. And it makes it a very pleasant experience to use for sure. Other than that, of course, you have your window controls and mirror controls and everything up here on the door. As far as storage goes, of course, down here we have a water bottle holder pocket that is actually carpeted. So you could put something like a phone or something that's a little more delicate in here, and it's perfect to fit something like that. It is a little bit on the smaller side, so I don't know that you could put any of your metal water bottles, but certainly, like a soda bottle or something plastic probably could fit in here. Of course, we also have another small tight pocket just below here. Once again, you could easily fit like a phone or something small, pens, anything like that you wanted to keep in here as well. And the interesting feature here is because we have two trunks, there are two releases down here on the door sill. So the front release is for your frunk and the back button is for the rear trunk. So now moving to the steering wheel area and the gauge cluster. This is by far the best part about this interior. The leather on this steering wheel is definitely, bar none, the softest that I've felt on a car so far. Of course, this is my first Porsche, but I can see why this is pleasant to use. And the steering wheel is the right size. There are no buttons on it and nothing to confuse you, nothing to accidentally press. It has that feel of a driver's car, right? There's nothing to distract you here. It's just a steering wheel for the sake of steering the car. And you know, the leather is nicely stitched and is very soft and just pleasant to hold. It's a very small wheel, but it's the right size for a car like this. Of course, behind the wheel, this being a PDK car, you do have your paddle shifters in the back, right for up and left for down. And these are definitely the highest quality shifters I've seen. They're fully metal and the actuation is just very satisfying to use. Of course, we would all love manuals, but if you're gonna go automatic, this is a great way to go. So of course, Porsche has always done a really cool and really easy to read, nice gauge cluster, and that follows here in the Boxster as well. Of course, front and center, you have your tachometer, definitely what you want to see when you're shifting with a transmission as fast as PDK. And it's nice right there in the center, finished in gray, in this sort of gray color. And to the left, you have your speedometer and a digital readout of the speedometer just below the tach. And to your right, you have a multifunction screen to show you things like fuel, temperatures, and trip meters and all that kind of stuff that you would normally expect. But other than that, it's just three gauges, nice, focused, and easy to read. And I really like that look that Porsche goes for with that sort of vintage look that they've maintained through the 911s and now Boxster and Cayman as well. Of course, with Porsches, as many of you might know, you start the car on the left side here. So of course your key, which is also shaped like a car and like a Porsche, goes into the left side of the steering wheel. And a little tidbit as to why that is the case, when Porsche was racing in Le Mans, it was easier for the driver because you had a running start where you started outside of the car. You would run in, jump into the car, you could start the key with your left hand while putting it in gear with your right hand. And so it allowed you to get going a little bit quicker than the competition. And I like that that's just a little Easter egg that they've maintained over the years, and it's cool that it's in the consumer cars as well. So of course on the left side you've also got your headlight controls and standard things that you would expect like that. Moving to the center, we have of course a very simple but classic design for AC vents, and below that your screen. Of course this car is a 2014, so Apple CarPlay wasn't and Android Auto weren't quite around yet, but we do still have Bluetooth and good function for connecting your phone like that for listening to radio and Spotify and whatever else podcasts that you might want to listen to. Below that, of course, I do appreciate hard controls for stereo, HVAC, and all that here. Easy to memorize where they are, and you don't have to take your eyes off the hopefully fun road that you're driving on. Next, the gear shifter for the PDK transmission. They have this really unique, what would be the place of a shift boot, where they filled it in with metal. And I think that gives a really classy look and is definitely one of, I think, Porsche's signatures. You just know when you see that you're looking at a Porsche, and it's a cool, classy look, and it also stops the inside of the gear tunnel from getting dirty and stuff, especially when the top is down. Now, of course, it's a very comfortable shift knob to hold, and has that sort of signature Porsche look. And of course, when you slide it to the left, you can manually shift with your paddles or by moving the stick back and forth. Now, just below that, we have a little badge, of course, tells you Porsche Boxster, which is cool, and then hard buttons for all of your options. Now, the only thing with the hard button thing is, of course, if you buy a more base model or a not fully spec model, you are going to end up with blank switches. It's up to you on how that looks and what you think about it, but regardless, I do like hard buttons. I like, you know, knowing that I don't have to look down always to push something, and I can memorize where things are. So things like your sport mode button, your button to lift and lower the rear spoiler. In the center of those buttons, of course, you have your top actuation controls for lifting and lowering your convertible top. In this car, it's also finished in that nice dark blue color, and I think that fits really well with the exterior silver paint. Below that, of course, you have your center console. It's not the deepest, but for the size of car, it's pretty okay, and you can easily fit your smartphone. You know, I've got my glasses in there right now, and it's a good place to put some small knickknacks for a two-seater car. Definitely works well. Now, moving to the passenger side, of course, you have a very solid, well-sized glove box, and I think that's important, especially when you are in a two-seater car like this. Easy to store things, put your documents, your registration, all the paperwork that you're gonna have in there, and you can easily fit like things like glasses cases and things like that in it. You might be wondering where the cup holders are in this car. Don't worry, they have them just above the glove box. You'll see there's a flat panel. Push that and you get two swing out cup holders. It's actually a really genius idea. I used it myself yesterday on my drive, and holds your coffee just well. And the best part is you can actually tighten it down and cinch it down to the size of your cup or size of your bottle so it doesn't shake around. You know, especially like you're taking corners. The car does have sportier, somewhat firmer suspension, so you don't want your drink to be splashing around everywhere. It's nice that you can cinch down your drink and it stays in just fine. So yeah, overall, the seats are very comfortable. They hold you in really well. I would say for a you know, small to medium build person, I'm about 5'8". They are very comfy, leather of course, and the headrest actually has a lot of nice padding in it. So you know, when you are just using this as a GT car and just cruising, you can lean back, enjoy it hopefully with the top down. So of course, the interesting thing here, there are some power adjustments on this seat and some are manual. It's one of the first times I would say I've seen a mix of the two, but it does work. And I mean, the seat rails for moving forward and backward are manual, but most of the time you're not going to really be adjusting that once you've set it up. And then you do have some power lumbar support and recline, which is manual. But overall, the interior here, made of some great materials. You know, it is what you would expect from Porsche, and it's a great place to spend time. So I definitely recommend it. So an interesting quirk about this car is the way that the door handles work. So you can see it does look like a traditional door handle, but when you pull it, if you can see, it pulls up, not out, which is a really interesting design. And I suppose because the door is so low, it makes it easier for, you know, average height people to pull up than out. But I would guess that's why. If anyone knows in the comments, let me know. But that's kind of a cool quirk of this car. Let's talk about the engine on this bad boy. So, of course, the Boxster is a mid-engine car, so the engine sits actually right below this convertible top. And it is a, of course, flat six, 3.4 liter, and it makes 315 horsepower and 266 foot-pounds of torque. And in a car this size, that is a great amount, and it's a lot of fun. So let's talk about how this Boxster drives. It drives great. Next. So I finally understand why so many journalists and people and owners talk so highly about Porsche. It's definitely a different experience driving a car like this. The steering wheel is a great size where you can it's kind of just naturally where your hands rest. And the response of the steering, I really like. I'm a person who really likes sort of sporty steering, you know, responsive steering. I don't like lazy, you know, wishy-washy stuff in my steering. And this is such a nice experience without being overly darty. And I think that's the important thing. This being the Boxster S and not, you know, like a GTS or a, you know, a GT4 variant or anything very super hardcore, this is definitely a car you could daily drive. This is a sort of GT cruiser, right? I mean, and it also has that characteristic to it, and you can truly enjoy a nice back road, you know, with the twisties, as you can see here, and it's a nice, pleasant place to be, you know, in terms of just enjoying the suspension isn't too harsh, but it's firm enough that you can really feel what's going on the road, and I'm just really enjoying my time with this. So let me know, guys, if you have any other questions or if you have any thoughts, if you guys are owners of these cars. I truly am jealous of you. So we're in sport mode here, and you know, as you can see, the top is down, and this is a nice, just pleasant way to cruise through this nice twisty neighborhood road we've got. And this is just such a different experience. This is actually the first convertible that I've been in, and I am thoroughly enjoying it, and I fully understand now why people would buy Boxsters. Because as a two-seater car, this is very spacious. You know, me and my producer over here are in no way cramped, and as well, it's just a pleasant place to be, especially with the open top. You can feel the breeze running through your hat, and it's just nice. And then you add the handling aspects of the Porsche with its great steering and just the suspension that is firm but not too firm. And this would be an amazing car to both cruise through something like a national park and go through some nice mountain twisties. Maybe one day I will do that for you guys, and hopefully one day live near some mountains. But this is just such a nice way to travel, and I understand why people do this. So I was always a little weary of Spyders and convertibles, and was like, oh, it's gonna be too hot, and it's gonna be gross, and stuff's gonna fly around, but this is really, really nice. And I can finally say that I understand Porsche, and I get where all the journalists come from with their raving reviews, and yeah, this is a great time.